I remember we first started playing Sleep Softly years ago. It was certainly before Restless. We had recorded a demo of Sleep Softly for Restless and were playing it around that period, and then for whatever reason we stopped playing it for a while, and then it came back in the studio for this record. One of the first choices we made when we kind of reopened it, we probably hadn't played it together in like a year, was we took away like a third of the song. We took away an extra chorus. We added a drone guitar section as the very beginning and added these harmonics. There was something really satisfying about a song that you had such a performed form for. You had made demos, you had played it live, then put it off to the side and came back and just like immediately made really hard choices that I think was incredibly effective in that it was just like, this is a new song now. And I don't know how intentional that was. We were just already in that mind space of big changes.
So the song, like conceptually, is kind of like a daydream about like living a more normal life and what that would look like, and trying almost to convince myself not to do that. I think as musicians we all have those like, you know, what if things were a little easier, what if I made a little bit more money,
what if I worked a 9 to 5?
Yeah,
totally.
That was a big intention in the studios, to try to capture that kind of like dream state, and also to like very quickly at the end of the chorus kind of like take you out of it. There's like a hard stop and you're like, oh, you know, maybe I don't want that thing.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about recording in a studio is you have so many tools at your disposal that you can kind of create a palette for a song to like, oh, these are the sort of spacey descriptive words of a song that we would tie to Sleep Softly. Like, how do we then chase those sounds? And I think everyone we worked with did a really good job of helping us get there. There's a bunch of really weird guitar stuff that happens, some strange mandolin, and also like we captured the vocal in a way that feels so close and intimate, and I really love that. And I think that is something that you can try to recreate live, but the most fruitful place to capture it and sort of the easiest is the studio.
I don't know if I've ever thought of the lyrics in that way, and now I'm like running through them in my mind, and like the beginning of the chorus, I've got time. I've got time. So much of the Palmyra universe thus far has been describing how little time we've had and how we've kind of just had to make things work in our personal lives, and it's almost like an anthem for like your future goals. Like, yeah, you're daydreaming about what it might be differently, but it's also like this is how we want it to be too. There's really cool harmonies on that chorus that our producer Eric helped us get. There's like 6 layered voices in that chorus. We did the thing we did in Cheap Beer as well, where it was like there's an instrumental section after the first chorus, and Teddy's in the control room with delay pedals and different effects, and I'm in the tracking room with my bass, and I would play something and then he would twist knobs, and it's like very interactive, and then Sasha's playing baritone guitar in response to that. Eric called that section on the Pro Tools just the motherfucking truth. is what that was titled.
It's cool to have a solo section where 2 of us are interacting, but not in a way where we're playing together, like playing instruments. It's basically treating effects and pedals, which is something I feel like you can do in the studio as an instrument. Mm-hmm. So Mono is taking the solo, but Ted is interpreting the solo with a pedal board.
And I remember like capturing, like I was using this pedal that would like loop very small sections of what Mono was playing. So like if there was something cool, I would, in a not very accurate way, like try to grab it and then like affect it. It was a really cool process. And every time we would listen to it back in the studio, the vibe, like Eric would be like, this was the vibe in the studio.
Praise.
Yeah. Well, it's like so much of it was just guessing too. So it's like, do a take, and then it's like, was that good? And everyone's like,
I'm not sure.
maybe.
There was one take where you were singing along with your playing.
Yeah.
The final take that's in the track is a comped version of a bunch of different takes, and there's like a moment of you like singing along with playing and me affecting it, and it's so cool.
I think like the true magic of a studio, but also more so like a band, is that we're sharing this collective experience of experimenting, and we're going to take all of those experiences that we had together and then apply those to the next record. So many of the choices we've made on this EP were informed by the choices we made on Restless. And it's like, how do we then elaborate on that? It's like the recorded history of the band will kind of be this like collective drawl of all of our like tricks, basically. Like I would describe the in like a hyper technical way, the like harmonic sequence at the beginning is like a tone row, essentially. Like we just played every single harmonic possible on 2 different instruments.
3 different
and then just put them in an order that goes randomly.
There's like, on a guitar you can only get so many harmonics from playing the strings or any stringed instrument. So we were like retuning the instruments while we were making the harmonics so that we could get different notes to create this rhythm bed. Honestly, that was all sort of Eric's vision. He was like, all right, now you're gonna play this on these beats. And I was in the studio doing the execution of it, and I was like, Eric, I don't know how to play. I was like, I don't know where to put the notes, but we made it happen. It was very confusing. It worked out.
Sleep softly.